bruh, bruh, bruh. Pfft. Yeah, I met a guy down the dark end of a dark alley. Said he had some information for me, something I might want to see. He was right. What did the man have? He had all the great games that are on sale on Steam this weekend.
Well, hey there, everybody. So, this is a new video format for me, but since I always get the most attention from my Steam sale videos, I figured, why not just tell everybody what's on sale every week? But this being the first time that I've ever done it, I'm going to lay down a few ground rules, just things that you need to know. So, you need to know where I'm coming from, why I'm doing this, how I'm doing this, all the things. Anyway, so first of all, this is based on games that I consider to be a good deal, not necessarily historic lows. That information, if I were chasing, like, is this a historic low or not? I have had people suggest that is this too much work? I have a day job. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I'm only focusing on, is it a good deal? And that's it. Is it what I consider, a good price to pay for the amount of game that you are getting? That's my only concern. So that's number one. Number two is that I'm only going to be recommending games that I am familiar with. And yeah, that is games either I personally have played or games that I have seen played by family members. So that's that. I'm not going to be choosing things. So if you're ever like, why didn't he choose this or that or to other? Very often it's because I am not familiar. Either that or maybe I didn't rate it that highly, if I rated it at all. If I did a review on it, which that's what I do the most on this channel, but what the people actually come to see is sale videos. So we're trying to meet the people where they are. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Games I'm familiar with, for me, either playing them or having seen them played by members of my family. Anyway, so third is that all the games appearing in these videos are going to be at least 75% off, unless the only caveat there is that I do have some extreme budget games that are still really good deals at even as high as 60% off, which 60% off is still pretty good on a lot of games. But I like focusing on that 75% off point. That way it's going to get me, like, what are reasonably good deals for everything that I'm looking at. So that's, if you're ever like, oh, but this game is like, 73% off, just outside my cutoff range, unless it's one of my super budget games that I love telling people about because they are often very hidden gems. Anyway, so yeah. And then last but not least is that I am not the authority, the great grand poobah of knowledge of all things Steam games. So if there's a game that I should know about that I don't seem to know about, please tell me about it. I want to know about it. So yeah, leave it in the comments. I'm not one of those guys who's like, ooh, commenty comment just because I need validation from my audience. No, I love getting comments from people. I usually respond to comments from people, and I have purchased many a game that has been commented to me by viewers. So yeah, I don't take it for granted. Anyway, let's get into it. So first up, we have Battlezone 98 Redux. This is a game, there was the original Battlezone, which was the great vehicular combat with the vector graphics, so cool. And there were other remakes of it. There was a really cool vector graphic looking one on the Mac back in the day, believe it or not. But yeah, this is the one that came out in 1998, except for it's, redone, and it's still super fun, still holds up. Great vehicular combat, 85% off. It's $374 if you buy the Odyssey edition, which you should. I don't know why it's cheaper to buy the Odyssey edition, which comes with extra content, than it is to buy the regular version. I think they want you to buy this version, so if you buy it, that's the one to get. Up next, we got us all the fun of a Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher is very cute. I have seen all the members of my family play this. I have not played it, but it's, a lot of things that you can do in this game. Obviously you're going around and ranching your slimes and then using them and, building things and organizing things and exploring a world and all of that. So yeah, it is a really cute, really fun, really cool game. That everybody in my family is like, when are you going to play it? And I'm like, my backlog is vast. But anyway, I know they love it. It's 75% off at $4.99. Really fun little game. Up next, here's another one that my kids had played for forever before I finally got around to reviewing it and playing it this year, and it's super fun. This is Splasher. Basically, oh yeah, has a very irreverent sense of humor. But it's yeah, you've got this sort of rocket pack that splashes paint and or water. It does two different types of paint that's either bouncy or sticky, and then there's water that also washes off the paint. And so the level design is really clever, and so it's always a matter of like, what are you spraying and where, and then how are you using it to precision platform through the level. Really cool idea. Great level design, like I said. Very fun game, and it's $1.49, 90% off, and not enough people know it, but it's a really good game. Speaking of really good games, this one doesn't even have video. But Alien Breed Impact. Now, I will warn you, the other games in the series are not on sale right now. If you play this one, you will want to play the other ones, because it is a whole story cycle, and there are really cool things that happen in the third one that you can't really fully appreciate unless you played the first and second one. So, yeah, it's really cool. I highly recommend it. I actually replayed this just a month ago and loved it. Had a great time. Very fun. Very awesome. So yeah, if you need some isometric shooter action, this is, in my opinion, the best one. This is the best isometric shooter series. It's been around a while, getting a little long in the tooth, since 2010. So it's 14 years old now, but like whatever, still super fun. And it's $1.09. The other one's not on sale right now, but when they do, it'll give you the discount for already having it. And then, yeah, they usually go on sale for about the same price, and they go on sale throughout the year. So keep your eyes peeled. If you play this one, you'll want the other ones, and very fun, very highly recommended games. Anyway, BDSM. No, not that kind. Oh, wait, let me not have the sound on, dingus. Anyway, this is a twin stick shooter, bullet hellish kind of experience. Very, very fun, very raucous, ridiculous sense of humor. Some might find it offensive. It's not for everybody, but for the people who it's for, if a game that's called BDSM, Big Drunk Satanic Massacre, if that doesn't appeal to you just in name only, then it's probably not for you. But if you hear that and you're like, oh, that sounds awesome. It is. It really is. It's super fun and hilarious. So yeah, highly recommended. And it is $2.39. Okay, up next is these are the greatest Diablo clones ever made. And I love Diablo, and I love the clones of the Diablo games. There are many, many good ones. There's another one that I'll highlight in just a minute. But yeah, this one is quite possibly my favorite Diablo clone game of all time, even over Torchlight II, which is also a very awesome game that I'll show you in just a second. But yeah, just so many innovations in this game where they were like, okay, Diablo is awesome, but what isn't awesome about it? Like, what could be improved? And then they improved all those things. And then if that still isn't your cup of tea, there is a vibrant modding community where you can basically just change the game up until it's what you want it to be. So yeah, if you're looking for a Diablo clone, if this is not exactly what you wanted, it can be. So yeah, I love these games, absolutely. And there's an achievement for playing it with mods, for real. So if you're chasing Steam achievements, the game wants you to mod it, which is awesome. It's been around a long time, but I still find the art style beautiful and fun. It is $2.99 for the Torchlight, And then for the Torchlight 2, which you actually, let me mute this, but give you video footage of, you'll get to see like really, yeah, the bigger and better. It is bigger, I will say that. And there's a 1 in 4 chance every time you start a new game that you might get the secret Minecraft level. I got it on my first time, and you get a Minecraft weapon. Could be anything from like, wood to diamond. I got the diamond sword on my first playthrough, and yeah, so awesome. That kind of really, really made me love this game. It's got new character classes from the other one. The gem system I liked in the first game better, but that's, like there's actually a mod where you can take it back to the first game version. So, again, these games highly moddable. They want you to mod them. There's a great community for it. It's $3.99 for the Torchlight 2, $2.99 for the Torchlight. Both incredible games, and I really love them. Speaking of Diablo clones, here is one of the Buckle Hat series. Yeah, you got to have your Buckle Hat games. These are also Diablo clones. My Buckle Hat games are, Grim Dawn, this one, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, and again called Victor Varan. And yeah, they're all very comparable to each other. You're going to fight a lot of minions of undead whatnots, and it's going to be very Diablo-ish, but very fun, very cool. Yeah, I love me some Diablo clones. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It is $4.99 at 80% off, and it's a very fun game. I like me some Buckle Hat dudes. This one I just reviewed on my channel, which is funny because I reviewed it a long time ago and gave it way too high a score. When I reviewed it for the Switch, back when my reviews were even more rambly, if you can imagine. Yeah, most of what I do on the channel is reviews, but I'm trying to give people what they want with these, sales, what's on sale. Anyway, as you can see, this is basically Breakout or Arkanoids or what have you, but it's got a more action RPG element. It mixes up Breakout with action RPG, and it works. It works pretty well. I mean, granted, most of you are going to think of, what is it, Fire Striker on the SNES or Holy Striker if you played it on the Super Famicom. Anyway, yeah, it is very similar. I would say those SNES titles are a little, well, it's one SNES title, but under two different titles, if that makes sense. But it is the slightly better game. But Strikey Sisters, super fun. Yeah, fairly decent challenge too, and it's $1.99, 80% off. Can't go wrong. The Vagrant. Now here's a game that has a ton of fan service. I'll just say that up front. Like you see what happened there in that clip. She's not wearing that much of a shirt, and she never does, and neither do any of the other female characters. It's fan service deluxe. But what it also is a very fun hacky slashy, yeah, and no small chested women anywhere in this game. They just don't believe in it. Believe it or not, there's a game that's even crazier than this. Yeah, which Dragon's Crown, for those of you who know, similar era. But anyway, this is a really, really good hack and slash RPG, and very fun, very cool. Still looks good. It's from the PS3 era. It's 79 cents right now at 80% off. I'm always telling people about this game because it's super fun. If you don't mind fan service, over 9,000 zombies is really cool. And this is the only game on the list that is not 75% off, but this is a budget title, and it has so much game for so little money. Basically, here's what it is. Top-down shooter meets tower defense. Because in between waves of zombies, you're setting up walls of fortification, you're setting up turrets, you're upgrading your guns, you're gathering ammo and all of that. You're taking care of business, and those next waves are coming quick. So you got to prepare. You got to have a plan. And you can play this online multiplayer. It has online multiplayer with your Steam friends. It's really fun to play with Steam friends, actually. And so, yeah, it's a lot of game for only 55 cents. So, yeah, pretty fun little game. So 72% off. It's still Really good deal. Overcooked. Now, is your family too intact? Do y'all get along really well? Is your Thanksgiving normally harmonious? Well, be prepared for it to not be that anymore. Because Overcooked, you see people taking this game way too seriously. Basically, what it is, Team 17, same people who made Alien Breed, the greatest isometric shooters. Anyway, basically, y'all work as cooks in a kitchen, but the levels get crazy as bits of the kitchen are moving around and you're in lava. There are two trucks passing on a highway. Like the levels themselves get really, yeah, see, told you. Anyway, levels themselves get very hectic, and that's why you see people yelling at each other like, I'm over here prepping onions and I need you to be over there with the tomatoes. And, um, yeah, people get very, very serious about this. But it's a very fun multiplayer party type game, honestly. Like play it at a party and it's fun. 80% off, $3.39. I'm only mildly joking about it breaking up relationships. You will learn some things about each other, that's for darn sure. Guarantee you that. Flatout 2. Flatout 2 is a racing game with really good crash physics. Okay, cool. Yeah, played racing games before. Who cares? Well, I'll tell you what's really cool about Flatout, though. It's not this part. It's not the racy race. It's the part where you've got all these mini games where you like drive in an obstacle and then try to shoot your driver as far and as high as possible to score the most points at like flinging your driver through the windshield. Those mini games, there are a ton of them, and they are so fun. So fun. Like there's so much fun you will forget that there's also a decent racing game in here. So yeah, $1.99. It's overwhelmingly positive because people love this game because it's super fun. A little bit long in the tooth, getting up there in years, but still, who cares? Super fun. Trine. All the Trine games are on sale, I believe. But yeah, the first one you're going to want to start with and see if you like it. It's very beautiful. It's puzzle, platformy, action stuff, RPG-ish elements. But there are 3 characters, and you're going to need all 3 to get through the levels. You got your wizard guy who can make platforms and boxes appear. You've got your rogue who can swing on ropes and shoot arrows. You got your warrior who is heavily armored, and he's got a shield, and he can bash his way through things, and he's a decent jumper. So yeah, you need all 3 enemies, and the way that you get through every level is a puzzle that you have to figure out. And so you're constantly going to be switching between characters. Very cool, very fun game. Highly recommended. And it is currently $3.29. Next up, Blossom Tales. Blossom Tales is unavoidably comparable to Zelda, but this grandpa is telling your story, the story of your character, to his grandchildren. And yeah, it's this girl going through and doing Zelda stuff, except for there gets to be a lot of puzzle platformy stuff, like a lot of puzzles, ton of puzzle solving in this game, and gets pretty intense later on. You're gonna have to look some things up for real. Those note puzzles are no joke. You're gonna have to get out a notepad and sketch some stuff out. But it's also very fun. I really, really like this game. It's $3.74, 75% off. Last but not least, Divinity Original Sin. This is an RPG in the Divinity world, which has a bunch of games. A lot of games more recent, a lot of games more intricate and highly using of computing resources, better graphics, all of that. But this one is probably the best jumping on point. There are some really old Divinity games, and there are some really new Divinity games, and this is like the first of the current iteration, and so it's really fun to play. Got kind of Diablo-ish vibes, but also kind of like Baldur's Gatey vibes. So yeah, it's but I mean the old Baldur's Gates, not the more recent one. Anyway, really fun, really cool. Definitely worth a look. And it is currently 80% off, $7.99. Anyway, that's my last recommendation. Thanks for being here for this one, people. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.